Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. Please be sure to like and share this video. One of the things I wanted to look at today is something that I've been asked a lot lately about why are priests not more vocal during this political season. And as I've told people, really it's not my job to say that you have to vote for this candidate or that candidate, and really it isn't my job. Plus, as people know, we are tax exempt, and by endorsing candidates, we can lose our tax exempt status. Now, why does that mean that candidates from a certain political party are allowed in Protestant churches from their pulpit during Sunday services? I don't know. Um, if we were allowed to do that, I'd still probably be against it. But anyway, one of the things I usually will quote is this paragraph I'm going to look at from the Directory on the Life, Ministry and Life of the Priest, which comes from the Vatican. And this was a document that was issued in 1994. And it's something that I've quoted a lot to people over the last few years. But this is basically kind of like a guidebook in a way of what we are called to do and how to live our life as priests. And there's a paragraph on, I think it's number 30. I'm going to go look for that. It's a pretty big document. I probably need to reread it. It's been a while since I've read it. Let's see, not 30. Okay, number 33, political and social obligation. So the document, I'm just going to read it, basically says that the priest, as a servant of the universal church, cannot tie himself to any historical contingency and therefore must be above any political party. He cannot take an active role in political parties or labor unions unless, according to the judgment of the ecclesiastical authority, the rights of the church and the defense of the common good require it. So I think that's kind of pretty obvious itself. In fact, even if these things are good in themselves, they are nevertheless foreign to the clerical state, since they can constitute a grave danger of division in the ecclesial community. Now, I'm in a small parish. I'm in deep red territory. I'm trying to think of how I want to say this. And when I was assigned to a bigger city, there were definitely, I mean, it wasn't all one leaning towards one party. There was supporters on both sides, and if I was to get up and say you can't vote for candidate X, that would definitely, and it has caused great controversy. I remember, I think it was in the election of 2012, I gave a homily on the five non-negotiables. I made the mistake of saying, really, who likes to pay taxes? Well, apparently somebody in the congregation did, because I think it was a few days later, I got a nasty gram in the mail basically saying that they were leaving the parish. And all I really did was talk about how you really can't support uh, abortion, euthanasia, same sex marriage, cloning, and I, for the life of me, cannot think of the fifth. But apparently, in the comment I mentioned, I think something, it's been almost 8 years, but is like, when you look at issues, there's a difference between support for the military and support for abortion. Um, some do outweigh others. Again, I think what I phrased it was looking at tax policy versus support for abortion, and really who likes to pay taxes. Well, again, this person did. Like Jesus, quoting John 6:15, the priest ought to refrain from actively engaging himself in politics, as it often happens, in order to be a certain point of spiritual fraternity. All the faithful, therefore, must always be able to approach the priest without feeling inhibited for any reason. So, I think part of the reason for this was in the 1970s there was a priest, Father Robert Drainen, I think it was, from Massachusetts, elected as a Democrat, and this was at a time when abortion was being debated, and he took the Kennedy approach that I may be personally against it, but I'm not going to force my views on others. And the idea that a priest would vote publicly in Congress to support abortion, scandal. There's another politician. I think it was down in oh dear, El Salvador, when John Paul II visited. It was a famous picture of him scolding a priest that was involved in politics. And again, even on the Republican side, there was a priest, John McLaughlin. I never knew this. I grew up watching McLaughlin's news hour. Was a political nerd. I also remember the Saturday Night Live skit. Loved Dana Carvey's impersonation of him, but I never knew that he was a priest. And not only was he a priest, he was in the Ford White House during the presidency as one of the advisors or speechwriters. I don't remember. I just learned that recently. So the idea that a priest would come out and say that he, working for a political party can cause scandal. And as the document also continues, the priest will remember that it does not fall on the shoulders of pastors of the church to intervene directly in political activities and in social organizations. This task, in fact, forms part of the lay faithful vocation, which it is. I mean, the idea is that it is not my job to be active in the political party, no matter how much I may agree or disagree with them. That's your job. I'm called to the priesthood. My vocation is building up the church. My vocation is not to build up a political party or to promote one. This task, in fact, again, forms part of the lay faithful vocation in which they work by their own initiative together with their fellow citizens. Nevertheless, he will not be absent in the effort to form them in an upright conscience. So I will say the example that I kind of give here is I understand that people will say that they may be personally opposed to abortion. I'm thinking Pelosi on this one. But, the idea is if you're going to say that you're personally opposed to abortion and you don't want to force your viewpoint down non-Catholics, it's like, okay, then as a devout and practicing Catholic, then you should not accept the highest award from Planned Parenthood and give a speech at the Margaret Sanger dinner, which Pelosi did. Or, and this will be a little bit more controversial for non-Catholics, you should not march in pride parades, because as Catholics we believe that marriage is reserved to one man and one woman, and celebrating pride, not in the way that the church would understand it, does go against the teachings of the church. So if you're going to say that you're Catholic and you're doing something, celebrating something that goes against the church, see, that's where the scandal comes in. The reduction of his mission to temporal task of a purely social or political nature is foreign to his ministry and does not constitute a triumph, but rather a grave loss to the church's evangelical fruitlessness. Anyway, again, it's not my job to say that you have to vote for the Democrat or the Republican or the Independent. I have my own personal thoughts, but that's not my job as a priest to make it known. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. It's one of the reasons why I really shiver when I see people on either side of the parties basically saying you have to vote for one candidate, you can't vote for this candidate. My focus is on Christ, and hopefully, I think the thing we also have to realize is we have to pray for change of hearts, because even if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, that's not going to stop abortion. Only by changing hearts and helping people to see that it is truly a baby that's in the womb, no matter what stage it's in, is what is really going to change and bring an end to abortion. So, again, I hope this has been helpful. Please let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, just leave them. I'll try to get back to them. Be sure to like and hit the ring bell so you can be notified when there's new videos. So until next time, God bless.